Good morning, y'all. Good morning. I hope we don't have no problems like we did yesterday. I did take my medicine with my cold drink this morning, and I took it before I went live. I think another reason why that has happened twice to me is every time is I've taken my medicine while talking to y'all, and I think I didn't give myself like I when I take my medicine before my live stream comes on, I'm not talking after I take it, right? So my chest isn't moving. I believe that if I'm talking also while taking my medicine, that may be what happened. Because I've never had a problem when I take it before the live and I have time to sit there and chill. But I'm fine this morning, y'all. I'm good. Hey, TNW Logger Love. Hey, James Love. Hey, my Bushwatchers, beautiful people. I'm fine this morning. My nose is still a little like it's not as sore as it was yesterday, and my throat's not as sore, but it did cause me to sound like now that I'm sick because of how bad that it ran yesterday, and it almost felt like I had a head cold after the fact, if that makes sense. But y'all know I did on a Wellness Wednesday have a wellness issue, y'all. So that was a thing. I was gonna do some true crime today, but then I was like, you know what? I just want to do a coffee conversation with everything that happened yesterday. I just want to talk to my people, see how they doing this morning, how they feeling, and everything else. And if we were going to have a wellness topic, I was going to bring it up today because yesterday was a washout. You know what I'm saying? What up, my sis, low sis? How you doing, beautiful? How's the babies? How's life? Yesterday, I had a problem where my medication came up through my throat, up into my nose, and it was awful. And I had to end my live early yesterday, which is something I don't do because y'all know I like to be professional. I like to be professional when I do my you know, my lives and stuff. As professional as I can be. Obviously, this I do informal settings and not formal settings. So informally, we sit here, we chill, we have conversations, and we talk to each other, right? But you know, okay. So I don't know who Michael Jackson is that they was speaking about this morning, but I heard it, church lady. I don't know. I don't know who Michael Jackson is. Somebody gonna have to spell it out. Who the hell is Michael Jackson? Audio, is they calling audio there? I don't know. Thank you, my beautiful sis Lo. I'm so happy for you that you got in your new home. And you know what I'm saying? And everything's going well with that because I know that's amazing. And I know how it feels to move into a new amazing place, and it's super exciting, and it's being in a better environment is always good. Um Moving from something that was okay or even a bad place to a good place is awesome. My last neighborhood, I had some really cool neighbors, but then I had some janky ass neighbors. Now, I will say that I don't know if y'all know this, but I've said it once or twice in my other lives. An ex neighbor of mine, right? An ex neighbor of mine actually unalived two people in my old neighborhood. The two people were not a part of my old neighborhood. I don't know who they are. But this old friend of mine, he got into drugs, so we didn't speak anymore and have not spoken in the last few years. But when he was not on the drugs, we were friends. He was a good guy. He was a sweet person. He was a little special needs. But he was ultimately a sweet guy, right? Sweet person. Would give you the shirt off his back. If he saw you broke down on the side of the road, he'd stop and he'd help you. Like he had that kind of heart. So I don't know if drugs played a part in this because here's the thing: a lot of my friends know, and you can ask any of my friends who were ex drug addicts who got clean, that while they were on the mess, they didn't come around me. Because first off, I'm gonna call them out on their shit, and they don't want that, right? Secondly, I'm going to try to get them to get off the shit, and I'm going to give them a talking to, and they don't want to hear it, right? At that moment. And they also respect me to know that I don't like that around me. I will not have that around my child or my family. So most of the time they'll disappear for a while. They'll disappear. And then they'll come back, when they know they're straight, they're off the stuff. Because they know I don't put up with that bullshit. But they also don't want. I've had a friend of mine tell me, she's been clean now for quite a few years, but when she was in the height of her addiction, she said, I didn't want you to see me like that. And I also didn't want you to look at me and say, I'm ashamed of your behavior, that you can do better, because I know I wasn't ready to hear that yet. And I knew that you would give me a talking to and try to get me to change my ways. And I wasn't ready for that yet. I know that you would pray for me. I know that you would try to hug me up and tell me I could do better. And I wasn't ready to hear that yet. You know what I'm saying? Because they know me. They know that I'm going to try to get them away from that lifestyle. You know what I mean? And that badness. Oh, it's some random dude? Oh, yeah. Y'all talking about that dude that was talking in the background or whatnot that I didn't know who that was? I will say this right here, church lady. I don't judge people for their addictions or drunks, but I cannot be around them. I cannot be around an alcoholic, and stuff like that, because it does bother me if they're like a violent drunk, because my ex was an alcoholic. And so it throws me into PTSD moments when he would be drinking, because when he wasn't drinking, coolest dude you ever met in your life, all this other stuff. But when he was drinking, it was like he turned into a demon. He wasn't that person anymore. And that was mainly the problems in our relationship. And what broke us up was the alcohol. And the fact that at the time he wouldn't keep a job, he wouldn't grow up. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't ready to grow up. I don't know if he's grown up now. I hope he has. I hope he's doing better in life. Even if we may have had our problems, I don't wish bad upon nobody. And I hope people, get, like, even people who are addicts, I hope they get off that stuff and they live a clean lifestyle and stop doing it, because it's not good. You know what I'm saying? It's not good. And it's bad for your health. And, that's why I don't hang out in those crowds. I do not hang out in crowds where people are drug addicts. I do not hang out in crowds where people are, like they're serious alcoholics and stuff like that. Never have. And I've had friends who are ex-addicts, friends who have overcame and found God, and God helped them through it, or, something led them to being sober or whatnot. And they would not come around me while in the height of their addiction, because they respected me and my family. They respected my views and I respected them. And they knew but it was this thing, like you got that friend you don't want to disappoint. That one friend you don't want to disappoint, or I was that friend. I was that friend they didn't want to disappoint. They didn't want me to see them that way. And they knew I would call them on their shit. And the crazy part about it, church lady, that tumor that was on his brain might have caused him to go crazy and not be himself. You know what I'm saying? Be more aggressive and previously this man would never be aggressive kind of situation. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's the thing about stuff like that. Those chemicals and doing those drugs can literally cause a person's brain chemistry to change for them to become aggressive when they never were aggressive before. I've heard of people doing things that they've never done before because of the drugs. Like, a friend of mine got mixed up with some legal issues. She got into some mess that she ought to not to. And I knew that when I saw her on the news, I knew that wasn't her, if that makes sense. I called it right then and there. I said, I bet you she got on that shit. I bet you money. Because it changed ultimately her personality at the time. I have seen people that those drugs completely change a person's personality and who they are. And it's weird because it's like you're looking at a person you knew very well. you knew them, and then they changed into a completely different person. Like my other one of my other neighbors got on that stuff, and it's just like a total 160 of the person they used to be. Like they used to be a caring person and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden they started falling off the deep end, losing their fucking mind, and accusing people of shit they didn't do, and like just totally went off the fucking deep end. That's why, church lady, me, myself, and I've never wanted to do drugs. I've never wanted to do hard drugs because of seeing other people do it. It made me go, no, I never want to do that. If that's what it does to you, I never want to do that. But I also do not put down people who have fallen into that lifestyle, right? I don't do that. I let them come to their stuff in their own terms. I just refuse to be around it while you're in active addiction, right? Because I don't, first off, I don't want to get into an argument with you or have harsh feelings because of something, right? Secondly, I don't want to see the person you are while you're on the drugs. I will remember you before the drugs, and I don't mind seeing you after, when you've gotten clean, when you're back to yourself. You know, so I don't like being around it when people are on it. I don't hang out in them crowds, never have. I couldn't tell you, you know, who's doing what or like who's the main players in any of those areas because I've never hung around with that crowd. You know what I'm saying? Now, I have had friends who were in those crowds. I have had friends who got a part of those lifestyles for a while. Um, we did not talk during the time of their addiction, but when they got clean, one of my friends came up to me. She said, "Yeah, the reason I didn't come around, I knew we were real close. We were like sisters, but I got on that stuff and I didn't want you to see me that way. I didn't want you to see me in active addiction. I didn't want to be around you while I was on it. I didn't want you to be ashamed of my behavior. I didn't want you to, you know, see me in that capacity because," and she did that with a lot of her friends that were like responsible people. It was like quite a few of us. She basically broke away from her older friends, and made, you know, friends that were in active addiction with her. But when she got clean, obviously, she didn't want to be around the active addiction friends and wanted to go back to her friends who were straight laced, that didn't do that stuff. Yeah, it's also when a person changes and does that, they have to have accountability. They have to have accountability, and understand that they did hurt people, you know, and hurt people with their addiction. And sometimes it tears families apart. Sometimes it strengthens families because when the person gets clean, they're stronger than they were before. But a lot of times, more than not, it destroys families. And I wish to God that crack, crystal meth, heroin, all those things were never brought to the surface and nobody ever did them. But that's not obviously how the world works. Alcohol itself, to me, is another one. You know, if done responsibly, people don't, you know, become alcoholics and all this other stuff. But, and there's a such thing as a functioning alcoholic, too. A person who you don't even know. There are people that you may know in your life that are functioning alcoholics that you don't even know they're an alcoholic because they never show the signs of what we think of as a person with alcoholism. They don't get violent. They don't do none of those things. You can't even really tell that they're um, under the influence. I had a friend I didn't know. I did not know that she was a functioning addict. Had no idea whatsoever. There are people like that. Hold on just a minute, y'all. My son's in here. Sorry about that, y'all. My son came in here. Y'all know I'll mute up when he comes in. But no, I will say this. I didn't, the new. I didn't listen all night to Lemon. I fell asleep. I fell asleep when he had that first confrontation with whoever that person was he was talking to. I don't know who that person was, where they were talking about hitting each other with bottles and all kinds of stuff. I don't know, dog. I fell asleep right after that. But I did see like partial. I need to go back and watch the rest of it. I will say that I want to say rest in peace to Rodney's father. If Rodney, if you happen to catch this, I'm so sorry that your father passed away. I know that you took care of him and loved your father very much, and I don't think it's okay. That your father rests in peace. I'm so sorry. I couldn't imagine with the pain you're going through right now. I wouldn't even be on these YouTube streets if that had happened to me. But different people handle it different ways. So maybe this is his way to cope. No matter if you like a person or don't like a person, you can still feel empathy for them when they have a loss. So prayers and condolences go up to you, Rodney. Just wanted to say that right quick. I always I have to always put out that thing too. It's like, here's the thing: whether you like a person or don't like them, you can still feel empathy. Yeah. We didn't know about it until recently that his father had passed, because he didn't come out here and tell, I guess, or so, I suppose, that his father had passed. So he didn't tell nobody when it happened. So I do want to send out condolences to his father, and to him and his family. The older we get, that's something that's going to happen. It becomes a part of our life. Which somebody else was talking about how, it was Creole, was talking about how, people are passing away left and right. And as we get older, death becomes a part of our life, right? Our older generation passes off. Our parents, our people that we love, and it happens. It's a part of life. Death and birth, they're a part of life. But I just did want to say, my condolences, because I can only imagine that pain. If you had a good relationship with your parents and they pass away, how it hurts. And I've heard from people who have bad relationships, that they have still have a lot of pain towards something like that. A lot, because like a friend of mine, she had really bad, like her and her father don't get along at all, or haven't, for a very long time. He wasn't really a part of her life like that. And when he passed away, she said it still hurt and bothered her, and it made her have like more regrets and different things because they didn't have a relationship like that. And I had like helped her not to feel bad about it, because it wasn't just she tried, he didn't. She can't blame herself for that. Like, she tried to blame herself for that. You can only do what you can do as a human. It takes two to tango. You know what I'm saying? You can try your best, but if the other person doesn't want it, no matter what you do, there's nothing you can do about that. So I had to talk to her about that. But what was Creole talking about in chat, child? Was she cutting up last night? Was she cutting up? I gotta go back, and I gotta play around, church lady, with your other video that I was gonna do for you, and I'm gonna redo Creoles, because I'd learned some new stuff. Y'all know the chats be where it's at most of the time. I'm just gonna tell you, when you in a live stream and it's cutting up and it's a beef section, the chat's where it's at. You're gonna laugh so hard reading that chat when people reading other people. It is hilarious. The chat is undefeated most of the time. Y'all know I don't have no problem myself with pretty much anybody. Um, one the only people I have a problem with is in a specific camp, but I don't have no problem with anybody in the beef section. They was like, yeah, I'm gonna find some of your haters. Well, technically, baby, I don't have those, so yeah. I'm feeling much better, Catfish. Thank you, love. Yeah, yesterday was not cool and was not planned and was like, oh my god. Oh, um, y'all were talking about old beef sector. Shoot, I thought they kind of had I thought they didn't have no beef at this point, but I guess it didn't last 24 hours. Woo. Well, a lot of us are like that. The ones that are unproblematic, right? Like the other day, I was like thinking, I'm gonna say this, Lemon. If you're watching, I need to talk to you about this. Why you got a problem with Ron P? Ron P is one of the most unproblematic motherfuckers in this sector, and don't bother nobody. What the hell? Why you and Ron P not cool no more? What the hell did you do to Ron P? And you can't say that Ron P. I know Ron P really didn't do much. What did he disagree with something you said? Because Ron P really don't do nothing. I'm sorry. It's like Vibrant. You know what I'm saying? Mod extraordinaires. Oh, I like Don Play. Me and Don Play. Sometimes he be calling me out on shit, but I like Don Play. Sometimes he be calling me out. Now, Don Play, if you ain't know, um, you know, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think I'm right, comes from the Mo3 sector. And the other day I was talking about, Shakim and Jackie, right? You know, Jackie the baddest. Um, I was trying to tell Shakim, like, know thy enemy. Like, bruh, they actually pull up. They pull up, bruh. And I guess he don't like some of the people I was talking about, so he was calling me on shit. And was like, but she got her ass beat by Jade, which is SD's. I guess I don't know if they back together, not together. Because here's the thing, I can't keep up with that shit. I can't keep up with who together, who not together, who dating now, who not dating now. Because child, I never thought that Queen 88 and SD would ever get together and actually date each other. Because they always said they was brother and sister. So when I first heard that, my jaw hit the fucking floor. I was not expecting that. But no, see what I was saying is I was like, shit, have you seen the way Jackie's arms cut up? I ain't trying to fight somebody. No, I'm good. First off, I ain't in that young age no more. I will say this. Now, if I was in my 20s, I would fight anybody back then. Back then, I would have fought anybody like a crosscut saw. I'd be the one pulling up to. But now that I'm in my 30s, closer to 40, I don't see the reason for that shit no more. I just don't. To me, it's I ain't got to prove shit. You know what I'm saying? Hold on just a minute. My son walked in again. Sorry about that, y'all. Um, yeah, I was a different breed in my 20s too, church lady. But now that I'm closer, I'm like, I just don't. My son came in to talk to me. Y'all know I mute up when he comes in. He's still worried about all his testing and all that other stuff, and so he came in to talk about it for a minute. Yes, and so with he's trying to figure out how he you know how what like if the ferritin is causing iron to build up on his liver, where he got it from, because he's like, I don't know where I would get it from. I'm like, I don't know either. You don't eat a lot of things and do a lot of things that could cause too much iron buildup, but your iron levels are normal, so that don't make any sense either. Like, your test results make absolutely no damn sense sometimes. You're like me, you one of them weird people that it really no explanation. Because mine's the same way. I'm like, I'm sorry, you inherited it from me. But I guess we'll figure out, because the doctor still ain't put no notes down for any of those tests yet. Still waiting on that part. Um, I guess we'll find out his next visit, which will be July 10th, of what the doctor, says or whatnot. Um, I got to figure out what to cook today or what we gonna have, because uh, I got to cook in a little while, and I'm over here trying to think about what do I want to cook. That's facts. That's facts, church lady. God got us. But I don't know what I'm gonna cook today. I gotta figure that out. Oh, you cooking neck bones? Man, you cook it. Okay, here's my question though. Are you cooking your neck bones by themselves? Are you cooking them with some beans and cornbread? Are you cook like what you having with the neck bones? And I'm gonna yeah, I gotta figure out something. Uh I gotta figure out if we're gonna be cooking, going to get something, what's gonna happen. So I gotta figure that out. I gotta figure out what to make. I might have to figure it out because I might have to go figure out what's in the freezer so I can set something out. Hey, I'm a movie producer. What's up? Ooh, so you gonna have neck bones with rice and gravy with red beans and cornbread and corn. Ooh, are you doing whole kernel corn? Are you doing corn on the cob? Or like like there's different ways and whatnot. So you gonna do some corn on the cob with some rice and gravy with red beans. Oh, so you doing it the southern way. So you gonna put the neck bones on the plate. You're gonna put the rice down, put the neck bones, put the gravy with the red beans and all that other stuff. Ooh. See, that's fresh. That fresh. I've always heard that fresh is way better. Our garden looking pretty good right now. Our tomato plants are coming on real good. So we're gonna be getting some good out of that. Our pepper plants are growing real good. Everything looking good in the garden right now. I need to go out there and do a short on it. I'm debating on what I'm gonna cook today. I gotta figure out what's in the freezer. I don't know. I might have to go in there and look at it because I got to set out the meat so it thaws out. You know what I mean? Whew. Child, today's gonna be something crazy. I know some mess is gonna go down in the beef sector. Um, Here's my question for everybody. Okay, I know everybody in here usually comes from different sectors and different places on YouTube. Do y'all have any thing going on that you find juicy that you like to watch on YouTube that like, ooh, child, this is going down over here? The only thing that I hate about shucking corn, church lady, is trying to get all those little bitty little pieces of the stuff on the inside. I hate that. But I think I will say beans, snapping beans is more. It's day 18 on the Diddy trial. Let's see if there's been any Diddy updates. I've been hearing there's a lot of drama going on in YouTube land because of the Diddy trial. Like people getting hit upside the head and um different things happening in YouTube land, people fighting and different things. Yeah, the silk. I hate the silk of the corn. Man, especially when it starts sticking between and you have to try to, man, I hate that shit sometimes. It get on my nerves. Also, shucking peas sucks sometimes too when you're doing a lot of them at one time. Let me look on the Diddy trial, see what updates we got here. It says Diddy trial 20 recap. I could ill you. Witness testifies Combs threatened her. The 20th day of the Sean Diddy Combs X trafficking and racketeering conspiracy trial was punctuated by harrowing story of fear, danger. I'm reading this from a thing right quick. Hold on. Let me pause this. We're gonna watch this right quick. Hello. Hold on. An ad came up. Let me skip that and then pause it so we can watch this together. Okay. Yeah, Armand got ran up on by some weird girl. And like I've heard like a lot of like crazy mess is going down. Yeah, Grace, Nancy Grace. Man, I heard there's a lot of stuff, man, a lot of stuff with this situation. A lot of drama going down on YouTube because I'm like, oh my God, really? We're gonna watch this on MSNBC, y'all, or MSN or whatnot. Burden of proof says Diddy trial day 16. We're gonna watch this right quick.
Hi, I'm Eva Pilgrim. Thanks for streaming with us. Two new witnesses taking the stand on day 16 of testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking and racketeering trial. This morning, a forensic video expert testified about that 2016 hotel surveillance footage showing Combs attacking Cassie Ventura. The defense raised questions about whether the footage was manipulated, but the experts saying there are no anomalies going on in the file to indicate it had been manually altered. Piazza's testimony, that expert, was followed by Cassie Ventura's friend, Brianna Bongolan, known as Bana. She told the jury that in 2016, Combs dangled her over a 17th floor balcony, the claim Combs denies. Bongolan also testified about a time she said she was asleep in Ventura's apartment and was woken up by Combs banging at the door. She described Combs being upset, saying, "I just remember seeing a knife get thrown in her direction," referring to Ventura. The prosecutor asked, how did Cassie react when the knife was thrown in her direction? Bongolan responded, she threw it back, adding that it didn't hit Combs. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges. If convicted, he faces the possibility of life in prison. Later in the show, The frenzy around this trial. We have a YouTube star, Tisa Tells, joining us live. She goes to court every day, live streaming her real-time commentary for her more than 500,000.
Oh, snap. There's Tisa Tells. We know her, y'all. Oh, snap. Look, they bringing up YouTubers we actually know, y'all.
Followers. She'll help us set the scene about what's happening around this high-profile criminal trial. But we begin with ABC News Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katersky live outside the federal courthouse here in Manhattan. Aaron, the day started with that forensic video analyst talking about the hotel video. What did he say?
It wasn't so much what he said, Eva. It's more what his testimony allowed federal prosecutors to do, and that's play what may be some of the most visceral evidence for the jury over and over. The defense kind of opened the door to this, and the judge told them as much outside the presence of the jury by suggesting that the video had been manipulated or sped up or somehow altered. The judge told the defense, you know, you're having prosecutors dispel that by having them play the video, which is not something the defense really wanted. And yet there was Frank Piazza, this forensic video analyst, walking through frame by frame, and the jury again getting to see Sean Combs throwing Cassie Ventura to the floor, kicking her, stomping her, dragging her, throwing a vase of flowers at her. And on cross-examination, the defense took pains to show how the time codes didn't match or the cameras didn't appear to be in sync, but there was no evidence that any of this footage had been altered. And Eva, remember, when it first appeared on television, Sean Combs issued an apology, not denying any of the conduct. He said what's depicted on the video, his behavior, was inexcusable.
Today's big witness, Aaron, was a friend of Cassie Ventura at the time. How did she come to be a part of Combs and Ventura's circle?
Brianna Bongolan met Cassie Ventura while working for a design studio. They were trying to start a line of T-shirts, and Cassie was sort of the name brought in, the talent, and Bongolan was the one to extract the ideas and come up with the clothing line. And they eventually did, although Beyonce and Rihanna also had lines of T-shirts at the same time, so they were never really successful, she said. But eventually they became friends, and really they became drug partners, as she testified. Both she and Cassie Ventura developed a drug partnership where Bongolan would buy the drugs, sell them to Cassie, so much so that she became reliant as part of her income on Cassie buying drugs from her. And they did everything: ecstasy, Molly, cocaine, marijuana, ketamine, Cocoa Puffs, which the jury learned what that was, a mix of marijuana and cocaine. And the defense tried to seize on that to color her testimony.
She also...
That brings a new meaning to shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Puff. Pass it to me now. Light it up and take a puff. Don't it bring a new meaning to shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Puff? I'm just saying. I didn't know that was a thing.
I told this story about Diddy dangling her over a balcony. What happened?
Yeah, a real harrowing account of fear and danger. It was 2016. She said she was asleep in Cassie Ventura's apartment when she woke to Sean Combs yelling and banging on the door. And then she remembers running out onto the balcony, trying to make it seem like she was acting casual. Sean Combs comes and lifts her up, telling her, "You know what the F you did," and lifts her onto the railing. She said her feet were dangling over. Sean Combs then lifted her off the railing, threw her onto some furniture. The jury saw pictures of the bruise on her leg and the bandages on her back.
As she's telling the story, I'm curious, what was the reaction from the jurors, from Combs?
Yeah, Sean Combs was shaking his head when she first talked about some of these things. She said that Sean Combs threw a knife at Cassie. She said that once Sean Combs threatened her, that "you know I'm the devil and I could kill you." And Sean Combs kind of shook his head a little bit as if to say he didn't quite remember that. And on cross-examination, the defense hammered home what they said were inconsistencies in the way that she's gone over these accounts with prosecutors before trial, the way she testified to them today, and the way she wrote about them in a civil lawsuit that sought $10 million from
What is it about Chamberlain University that makes our nursing students so successful? The opportunity to learn from anywhere with support that comes from everywhere, and the promise that no matter where you...
Sean Combs.
Bongolan's going to take the stand again tomorrow. What can we expect from her tomorrow?
There'll be more of the same relentless cross-examination. Defense attorney Nicole Westmoreland is asking her, you said this to prosecutors, you testified this way. What's up with that? I don't remember. Over and over and over. But Eva, I'm curious as to whether it even matters, because the only thing I can figure is that her story about the balcony and the knife throwing, it all kind of goes to the racketeering point that maybe this is why Cassie Ventura, as prosecutors allege, felt coerced into sexual acts, because she witnessed some of the violence that Bongolan described. On the other hand, her testimony may not have been important at all for that reason, but because she did testify that Sean Combs sold her drugs, another component of racketeering, and that may be what prosecutors hope to gain from her testimony.
Aaron Katersky there at the courthouse, and we should note that Combs denies all of the charges, including those claims that he was dangling her over the balcony there. We have now with us ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer joining me. You got your sleeves rolled up. We got a lot to talk about today. So what stood out to you most?
All right, so of course we had the two witnesses, Frank Piazza and Brianna Bongolan, who had testified. Frank Piazza, again, with the video surveillance, saying that the defense basically made the argument that the time codes didn't match up from the different angles, but also one of the angles, that being the lobby, you saw these kind of 10 and 20 and sometimes 30-second skips, but nonetheless, the video spoke for itself. And Brianna testifying about, again, as Aaron Katersky pointed out, those harrowing moments of the knife being thrown allegedly at Sean Combs and then actually thrown back at him and then picking her up by the armpits and then dangling her over the balcony. I still have a big question mark as to whether or not it's true. We'll talk about that in a moment, though.
Okay, this video expert that we heard from today, he confirmed that the video was not altered, that it had been unaltered. Was that even a question?
It was a question. It was a big question that the defense had brought up before the trial had begun, during the trial. And I'm not sure if, for lack of a term, the juice was worth the squeeze, because they're combating this argument. They're trying to make it seem like it's being skipped over. It's sped up to make it look more menacing. But it gave the government the opportunity to play it over and over and over again. And that's not something you want the jury to see of your client. Some of the most violent and dangerous testimony and video they're going to see in this case.
We also heard from Cassie Ventura's friend at the time, Brianna Bongolan. The story that she told, Aaron was just talking about that, her dangling over the balcony. This is a pretty crazy story. The jurors got to see the pictures of the balcony there.
Yeah, so she's testifying on the stand that for a split second she was thinking she was going to fall, but for the most part he was just yelling over and over again for about 15 seconds. But I'm the son of a general contractor, and I thought that this story didn't make sense because most balconies, if you know, I mean, we have young children, we see balconies all the time, and like, that's too low, too high. Balconies in California and New York have to be 42 inches high. She's 5'1", if you believe Sean Combs' social media and posts. He's 5'10". To pick up someone by the armpits and lift them 42 inches high to that point, that didn't make sense to me. And the allegations that she's using drugs and that she couldn't understand or remember a lot of these incidences, I think that's what the defense is going to really hone in on and be like, this story is not plausible. It must not be true.
Yeah, we heard Aaron talk a lot about all the list of drugs that she said she had been using. And that at some point, both her and Cassie Ventura tried to stop using the drugs, but they couldn't. Why was that?
Drug use is difficult, especially when you're talking about the various cocktails. I mean, I've practiced defense here in New York for over a decade, and I was learning about some of the drugs that they were using, the Cocoa Puffs that Aaron brought up. But they did say they were close friends trying to kick the habit, that they had tried cooking as a way of trying to pull apart from the drug use. But it was so much, even to the point that Brianna, when she reached out, when Cassie had filed a lawsuit about this very incident about the balcony, she said, some of those facts are incorrect. It wasn't at a hotel. This person wasn't there. This didn't happen. And her response was very interesting as to Cassie kind of just almost shrugging it off and her giving an excuse of, we used a lot of drugs at the time, so maybe the story might have been off. Another thing I think the defense is going to hone in on, and I'm not quite sure if this was the best witness to put on at the end of the day. I don't think it really helped the government, but it definitely gave the defense someone to kind of point out and say, this is false. And they might be able to sprinkle that throughout the rest of the trial and say, maybe other things are false too.
Brian Buckmeyer, always so good to have you. Still ahead, allegations of abuse and violence, admissions of heavy drug use. Which side did the best in presenting their case today? Our legal minds, Brian and Bernardo, break it all down for us when we come back. Welcome back to ABC News Live. Time now to examine the key legal strategies we saw playing out in court today at the Sean Diddy Combs trial. We have Brian Buckmeyer breaking down the defense, Bernardo Villalona analyzing.
Good morning, Watcher Sis. How you doing? We over here catching up on some of the Diddy trial stuff, and they're still talking about the Cassie Ventura thing, and her friend, how she talked about he dangled over her over the balcony and stuff. And they're like, well, he's 5'10", she's 5'2", blah blah blah. When people are hopped up on drugs, you'd be surprised what the hell they can do. I'm just saying.
The prosecution, Bernardo, we're going to start with you. That video, we got to see it again. I mean, how many times has the jury seen it at this point? Did they really need an expert witness to testify about that video?
The prosecution had to call an expert witness to testify about the video because there were allegations by the defense that the video was altered. So in order to prove its validity, its authentication, the prosecutor had to call an expert and testify that, look, this has not been altered. This is the video. So what you see in that video is exactly what transpired. Because now you take that question off the table from the jury. They don't have to figure out, wait, is the video altered? Did they mess it up? Did somebody insert some things in it? Now you take it away from them because you have an expert that testified that that did not happen. So yes, unfortunately, the jury did have to see it at least 50 times today, doing a direct examination, doing cross-examination.
You were saying, like, it's not a good idea to play this not flattering video of your client. How do you think they've handled this?
I don't think it's a great idea, but if you're going to do it, then do it. And I think the positive that does come from it is when you watch a video as harrowing as this, the first time you watch it for the violence, the second time you do it as well, the third, the fourth, the 50th time, now the sting has already been taken out, and that might be beneficial.
But that was the defense that was actually playing it so many times today. I mean, literally, they played it at least 25 times. So it was coming from the defense.
But now you might have trained the jury to say, okay, you've seen the violence already. Now start to look for the details. Is something wrong in this video? Is something wrong here? Is it skipping over pieces? Is the government being deceptive? And if you can discredit the government for how they're presenting the case, you're that much closer to an acquittal.
Okay, we have to talk about Breonna's testimony on the stand today. What's the prosecution hoping to show with her?
So the prosecution called Breonna to show a couple of things. Number one, they want to corroborate Cassie's testimony in terms of the violence that Cassie underwent at the hands of Combs, in terms of what is Combs' demeanor, what's his, in terms of threatening people, the threats that she actually heard from Sean Combs. Also to go through, they wanted to put that piece of evidence that she was dangled from the balcony. So that was key. But I think more importantly, when we're talking about the charges, the racketeering conspiracy, how does her testimony fall into the charge is the predicate act of the possession with intent to distribute, because she did testify that there were multiple occasions that Sean Combs gave her narcotics, and that is one of the racketeering acts.
Yeah, but
if it's believed, of
yeah,
course.
if it's believed is a big thing. I don't think, and we've seen this in our own cases, I don't think people believe drug dealers. And at the end of the day, that's what she's going to be painted as. She testified on the stand that her and Cassie used drugs at least once a week. And then when pressed on by even the government, she said, well, it increased over time. So more than once a week. And then when the defense came up, Nicole Westmoreland, amazing cross-examination thus far, a laundry list of the types of drugs. I never knew what Cocoa Puffs were.
We all learned what Cocoa Puffs were today.
Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, I've been practicing for over a decade. I thought I knew all the drugs. Didn't know that one. And now you have this person who's supposed to rest their credibility of what Cassie was doing, what Sean Combs was doing. I think they could have done without this witness.
Are the drugs a problem?
It's not a problem, and this is why I say that. As a former prosecutor, when you're dealing with witnesses, one thing that you tell the jury all the time is that you take your witnesses as you get them. I didn't make these people witnesses.
Yeah, but she made herself high.
The defendant made this person a witness, so I'm not here to clean up this person. I'm presenting you the person with their flaws as they are. I'm not trying to clean them up. In the end, it was the defendant that made that person a witness. Also, remember that it also fits in the narrative in the sense of that the prosecution is saying that Sean Combs is the one who got Cassie addicted to drugs. So here you have the corroboration from another person that's on drugs that this is how much drugs they used to take as a result of it.
Clean them up as you want. And let me parse through this. I feel for people who have substance abuse issues. It is a serious
Yes,
thing in
it
this
is.
country. We have represented people
Absolutely.
who have hit rock bottom, and my heart breaks for them.
On both sides,
On both sides.
prosecution and defense.
I am not discrediting her for having that abuse and going through that. That is her own trauma that she's working through. But if you're going to ask me to believe what she heard, what she saw, what she felt, and what she's testing to when she was in the thralls of that all, that's a whole different thing that I think is difficult for the jury. I hope she gets the help. I'm glad that she has a tattoo of January 2nd, 2018 on her neck, and she's now getting sober. But believing what she saw and heard on that day, that's a different thing that the jury's having to
You don't
grapple
think
with.
she was believable?
No, I don't think in many things. I still go back to the balcony. I'm like, it doesn't make sense if Sean Combs is picking her up from underneath the armpits to clear that level.
Eva,
No, I wish I had a tape
Eva, there
measure.
were issues with her testimony. I did question the prosecutor for calling this witness. Personally, I would not have called this witness as a prosecutor on this case. I don't think that you needed to call her.
Why would you not have called her?
Because I don't think that the pros of what she brings to the table, how she moves the ball in terms of proving these charges, are not outweighed by the cons that she has in terms of the drug abuse, in terms of selling drugs, in terms of the inconsistencies, in terms of how she held herself up doing cross-examination.
I think she also hurts the case because she's the person who's testifying that she's supplying drugs to Cassie, something that the defense is definitely going to pounce on closing
And so is
arguments.
Combs.
How much for each though?
I know.
Because she
I know.
said,
but all you
Combs
need is
only-
one.
She said,
all you need is one time that Combs
gave it to her once, according to her.
That's all
And
you
she,
need.
many times, if you believe her.
if you believe her. Everything comes down to credibility.
And I love that you kind of both agree on that one. Ryan Buckmeyer, Bernardo Villalona, thank you both for being here with us today. Still ahead, the media circus, the networks, the influencers, the vloggers, oh my, they are all lining up outside to bring their followers and viewers in. We chat with YouTuber Tisa Tells when we come back.
Yeah, I will say this with this situation, I think that there's going to be with this. I understand what the one guy was saying. You can't necessarily trust when you're under the influence if you're telling everything to the best of your ability, because you might, see or hear something that may have not actually took place because of drug psychosis. But at the same time, those things could have very well happened. Now, I understand where he says putting his hands under her arms and picking her up and putting her over the balcony because the balconies are taller. But she may have forgotten that, this, and this, and this. And you don't know if he himself was on drugs, he had more strength because of it. Oh, and also this is your med check reminder. Sorry, I forgot to do the med check reminder. Please take your medications. Let's go watch the rest of this. I'm excited to see Tisa Tells on an actual syndicated thing because it's cool to see our YouTube brethren brought up, in being able to talk about it on national syndicated TVs and news stations.
Welcome back. The Sean Diddy Combs trial has garnered massive attention throughout the country and abroad. Alongside various news organizations covering this trial, there are many bloggers, vloggers, YouTubers, social media influencers who are lining up outside of court every morning to see it for themselves inside the courthouse. My next guest, Tisa Tells, has been in the courtroom since the start of the trial, giving her more than 500,000 YouTube followers her take on the day. Tisa is here with us. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, Eva, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here with ABC Live.
I'm so curious because you have a lot of followers. What are they most curious about learning about with this trial?
So they're curious about learning something that you can't get in the tweets or even the articles. They want to know the energy. Diddy's captivated everyone, and they really want to know the tea. What's going on? How were the jurors looking? How's the judge acting? They want to get as much information as they can. I've never seen anything like it. Everybody just wants a bird's eye view of what's going on in the courtroom because they want to find out whether he's going to be convicted or not, and they want as much spoilers as they can get.
Yeah, I'm curious too, like how many people are, like when you look at the numbers of people who are like coming to your YouTube channel and the comments, are you seeing a spike in those types of views and comments?
It's a major spike. Again, even people that aren't even on YouTube, you know, of course, you guys, legacy media, they consume it, but then it's this voracious appetite. They're going to YouTube, they're going to TikTok. You know, people are talking about it at work. They cannot get enough about it. It's really, I've never seen this much coverage across all platforms when it comes to a trial.
And so what's interesting with this trial is that there are no cameras in the courtroom.
At
so
all.
we can't see what's going on inside. So walk us through, for people who haven't been in that courtroom, what's it like when you get there? How do you get in? What's the whole day look like for you?
It's hell. So when you get there, and I take people on my journey.
Like, what time do you get there?
So you get there as early as you can. Cassie's days were a little ridiculous. People were clamping out from 5 the night before, but usually you got there before the sun got up, right? Everybody is still jockeying for position, you know? So you get there and there's all these different personalities. There's the press, and you guys are trained, so you know, like, okay, let's line up orderly. And, you know, it's kind of like getting off of an airplane. And then there's the public side. And it's kind of like being at a Greyhound bus station, you know? People are jockeying for positions, arguing, who's that? It really is a reality TV show in the making. There are so many personalities from the bloggers, right? And as a blogger, it's surreal seeing people that you watch actually in real life. But then there's the general public. Then there are people that are just like looky-loos. Then there are the pro-Diddy people. And it's literally in one line, all these personalities coming together, all these random arguments, all these random jokes. It literally is almost like the precursor to the main event. So it's something else being out there.
I
think
I saw somewhere that like people have had to hire security because it's gotten a little hairy out there.
Yes, it is me. I am people. It has gotten crazy outside in the line. Again, I talk to people in the media and they're just like, they've never seen anything like it. There are people threatening to hurt people because how dare you laugh at Diddy's legacy. There are people very pro Diddy. And the thing is, I'm like, do any of you guys ever have any ties to Sean Diddy Combs? Or is this just like massive, like stan culture? But again, there have been scuffles that broke out in line, fights that have broken out in line. I think the federal marshals can't wait until we get off their step because they're like, what is going on now? And then you have different levels, right? You're outside and then they put you into a bullpen. So there's human conflict that happens on the street, right? To put it nicely. And then you go into this bullpen. Same human conflict, right? But now they've reorganized everybody. So now it's like, oh, I was number 4. How dare you, this and that. All this thing. People are like talking about beef they saw online. People are saying, scream, free Diddy, how dare you? And then you go into the courthouse and they shuffle us up again. So it literally is like, it's something, but it invigorates you and it gets you ready because you feel like you've finally gone through war and now you're in the promised land in the courtroom. They only take the first 14 people. So that's another into the main courtroom. So that's another reason why everybody is doing what they can to get a front row seat.
Because they want to be inside the courtroom,
Exactly.
not in the overflow room.
Yeah.
You covered other trials. You've been into other courtrooms. How does this one compare to those?
I've never seen anything like this. In other trials, yes, you know, there's media attention, you know, it's great being around actually legacy media because even being in line, just even talking to you guys, I'm learning so much. Things I didn't consider, things that I should do, and how to up my game. And I feel like a lot of content creators are really appreciating being with legacy media to actually learn the way things are done.
Well, we love having you guys with us as well. We learn a lot from you.
Really?
We are out of time. Tisa tells.
Okay.
Keep on telling everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us. We'll be back with new episodes every day of the trial. The show streams right here on ABC News Live, Disney Plus, and Hulu weekdays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. For even more on the
Also, good morning, Room Shaker. Good morning, Buster. How you doing this morning? No, we're just catching updates on what's going on with the Diddy trial. You know, I will say that most of the Diddy trial, by what I've seen, revolves around Cassie Ventura and what happened with her so far. That's basically what I'm catching. And the smoking gun is the video of what he did to her in the hotel and people's testimony and testimonies of people saying that he he trafficked not only Cassie but others. But mostly it is revolving more around her than anybody. I'm wondering if they're going to bring in other victims. Like, I don't know if there was others that were to the extent of what happened to Cassie. You know, to the exact extent. Like, of course, they brought in past people who have worked for him that he victimized and or you know, was violent with for one way or another, or people who helped him bring in the drugs. You know, they've also brought in a male escort that he would hire frequently. They have another victim taking the stand today. I'm hoping that it shows something other than just what's happening with or what has happened to Cassie, because you know, multiple victims is going to show that pattern. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, they already have the video of what he did to Cassie, right? And they have other people who have corroborated what Cassie has stated in her testimony, and others who saw the same abuse, others who were a part of it. So they've already corroborated everything, and they have granted several people immunity. Yeah, I would suppose so too, because here's the thing: without getting that immunity, anything they say on that stand can be held against them in the future. So I would suppose that they would give people immunity who have hit the stand, because they, you know, they were a part of the situation. So in order to catch the top, they have to take some of the lower people and give them immunity, because they technically, if you look legally, Cassie herself could have been charged with something. I'm telling y'all, they gave that girl immunity, and they gave a few more the same thing, because they admitted in open court to crimes, right? So they had to get immunity for their testimony. Had to. They literally admitted to crimes. You know what I'm saying? While on the stand. Even at the behest of someone else, there's still crimes. And then also I was seeing, I got a thing on my my phone that said today for the Karen Reed trial that they're bringing in the snowplow driver, that he details not seeing a body, so he didn't see it when he was plowing. Which obviously, if you're plowing snow, a lot of times you're not paying attention to that. You see just if you've ever been in a place that there's a lot of snow, you almost get snow blinded in a way, because everything is white around you and everything else, and the sun coming off of it, it can cause a little thing called snow blindness. So you may actually miss something like that. I don't know how many times snow plowers have accidentally covered up cars, like full blown cars, because they didn't see them, you know. Hey, Racing Stars Love, how are you doing? Is that a new channel? Or you just put a 2 behind your name? I just realized the 2 behind your name. Y'all know I pay attentions. But no, yeah, so I'm curious to know. I mean, we still got time in this Diddy trial to see if how many others they're going to bring up for this trial, and how many other people are going to take the stand. I'm me, myself, and I. What I've been wanting to see is some information we didn't know, right? Some information that the public has never been privy to at all. And things to be showed. You know, they had that rumor about the supposed videos that were played. Oh, I know it's her. But I was just like, is that a backup channel or something? Because yeah. You know, I be paying attention. But I was sitting there looking through that, and Watcher, I got to go back and rewatch the very beginning of your live from yesterday. I watched from the part of seeing no chin at all. You know, at least I may have a fat chin, but baby, I got one. You know, I may have a fat face, but baby, you know, at least I got a chin and a neck. And I got hair on the top of my head. I'm just saying. I'm not bowed. You may talk about me and you may say what you want, but shit, I'm also loved. So there's another thing. I'm not hated by the general masses. You know it's bad when you're generally hated by almost every person that runs across you. That's pretty bad. Oh, I heard you was on it. I heard you was on it, child. I heard you was all over it, child. I came in about halfway, so I got to go watch the very beginning again. And I'm going to laugh like hell while I'm watching it. I know I am because I know you too well. I laid down after what happened yesterday for most of the day because y'all know that was some rough shit. But I love me some Watcher, and I'm going to tell you why I love you, Watcher. Because not only are you freaking hilarious, you have that it factor. Some people don't have it, and they try to have it so hard. Well, you know they're going to be snitching. They're going to be snitching. That's their... See, I'm going to say this. I would not want to be a part of something so bad that I make this shit my whole life. And some of these people are doing that. They're making this shit their whole life. Their whole life. You get what I mean? When I turn off this screen, I go do my thing. I'll come over there. I'll visit everybody, you know. I support so many people. But I don't make this shit my whole life. And I've seen some of these people make this shit their whole fucking life. Like YouTube is their life. They have nothing else to do. And I'm like, go get a hobby or something. That's why you so freaking, miserable in your life, because you don't have a hobby. You don't have things like that. Yeah, Watcher, all I hear is your name. Watcher this, watcher that, watcher this, watcher that. Like, you have nothing better to talk about. There is so much more. Here's the thing. There is no content over there. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again. Wouldn't you get tired of hearing that if you were in the audience after 4 years? 4 years of the same thing being said over and over and over again. There is so much more else content that you can actually make out here, because there are people who actually make, content. And there's so much more you could talk about in the world, but you want to talk about the same people over and over and say the same thing. Like, at least come up with new shit. New shit. There's new shit. Like, you're just repeating the same thing over and over again. I would get super bored. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just me. I'm going to say this right now, Mr. Buster. I don't know how you could stand by anybody who would take money from parents who are missing children. I don't know how you could stand by anybody who, messes with children and talks bad about children, who literally calls children the R word, who puts children down. There's no justification for that. I don't care if somebody said they was going to pull a knife on you or do something crazy. There was no reason to go after a child. There never is. And anybody who stands behind that is weak sauce. Anybody who stands beside that person is fucking crazy as shit. Because here's the thing. I understand you getting a righty in some way and makes you feel semi-important, but you could actually go find another YouTuber, another person, a good person, and if you put in the same time and energy, could actually find a person and you get good notoriety. People actually enjoy you. They uplift you for what you do. but you want the bad notoriety. You want people to talk shit about you. You want to be a part of the drama. And it's because you have nothing else better in your life to do than to be a part of it. Because it's the only thing that makes you feel important. And I would not be sitting there paying somebody else so that I could feel like I'm important. I feel important in my real life anyway, to the people who actually matter. To the people who actually matter in my life. That proves you have no life and nobody, like, because here's the thing, people who have a life and have to cook, clean, take care of their house, hold, have family to go visit and do things with, they don't have time to stay up under another grown-ass adult's ass cheeks. They don't have time to be involving themselves and inserting themselves into drama and beef and bullshit all the time. They just don't. Point blank, period. And an unhappy person does that because it makes them feel important. Obviously, in their real life, they're not important enough. They're pushed to the side. So that's what makes them feel important. That's the sad reality of it. The sad reality of it is that's the only way they feel like they're important enough. They feel like they're, oh, I got this power. I'm this. A mod stick means nothing. Everybody knows that. You know what I'm saying? Whether I have it or don't have it. I enjoy doing it for people who I know are amazing content creators. Making sure their chat stays good, making sure that their Cash App gets dropped, making sure that their links, if they want to drop any links, get dropped. So the content creator can concentrate on creating content. But why would you be a moderator for somebody who is not creating content, is not providing entertainment? They're literally doing evil, vile shit. And you think the minute you and that's why they won't disagree with them. That's why they won't stand up if they do believe something is wrong. They will not stand up and say anything because they know they'll be on the chopping block next. That's what I'm saying, Mr. Buster. Why would you be a blind follower? And if, in case someone is supposedly your friend or you're good with those people, can't you also tell them when they're wrong? Because I believe that I can tell my friends when I see they do something wrong. I'm not a yes man and go, yes, you're awesome. You do no wrong at all. No. Let me catch what you're doing some shit. I'm like, bitch, you know you went too far with that bullshit. Bitch, you know you was wrong. And she'd do the same thing to me. Because real people tell each other when they're wrong. And guess what? We appreciate that shit. Because sometimes we don't see it ourselves and need to be called the fuck out. But when you surround yourself with yes men to make yourself feel better, that's a classic narcissistic trait. Because you don't want nobody to tell you you're wrong. You try to get rid of those people. Right? You try to get rid of anybody who disagrees with you because you want people to feel and inflate your head. That's what narcissists do. I want somebody to tell me if I'm wrong. I stand in my ish and say when I'm wrong. A narcissist can never take responsibility for their actions. When they do wrong, they're never going to stand up and say, you know what? I was wrong for that. I should have never did that. You know what I'm saying? But a person who can never take responsibility, you need to stay far fuck away from that person as you can, because they're going to do something to you and they're not going to feel sorry about it because they don't care about you or anybody else for that matter. They only care about themselves, and that is it. The minute that you yourself do not add value or do what they want you to do, you are going to be cut off and you're going to be enemy number one and worse. They're going to do to you worse what they did to the other people because they'll feel more betrayal from you than they will another person. They may do some fucked up shit to a stranger, but they're really going to do something to you because you know more stuff that they don't want to get out. Hey, Stiffy. Oh my God, no, they didn't. I bet it was little too. It was a teeny tiny, little yellow polka dotted bikini. It was one of them ones that you gotta, take a magnifying glass to, I bet. Yeah, because they can't be showing it because it ain't nothing to be looking at. Yeah, it ain't nothing to be looking at. Because if it was something to look at, child, they'd be proud of it, but obviously they not. I want to know this right here. What grown man keeps D pics in their phone of other dudes' D's? I don't know any grown man that does that keeps oods of other dudes in their phone. I ain't never heard that in my entire life. And I wouldn't be excited about seeing somebody else's oods. Like, I don't want to see nobody else's oods. I don't want to see that stuff. And I don't know why people be excited to be like, oh, I saw such and such. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that's not a normal thing. That's not something normal people do. You know what I'm saying? Normal people don't do that. Normal people don't save other people's oods to their hard drives or to their phone. You're going to keep on messing around, you're going to end up saving the wrong thing to your hard drive, and they're going to get your ass. Keep on. See what happened. And they come out with the new rules and regulations for that. That if it's considered revenge, or anybody, like if you can identify yourself in any of those photos, do you know that you could literally put someone in prison for that now? Yeah, the new take it down law that was just put in place. I don't care what state you in the United States of America. It's now considered a federal crime. And you better hope and pray that the person is not under the age of 18, because if they are, now you're looking at more charges. So keep on doing that, because somebody going to set your ass up, and they're going to end up posting something, and you going to think it's theirs, and then, I'm just saying. Well, I mean, normal's overrated sometimes, Miss Raditha. How you doing, Miss Raditha? Good morning. But I got to go back and rewatch it. See, here's the thing. I ain't watched none of them. I ain't watched none of the content over there. I've been playing around. I've been with my beef sector people. I've been with my mob 2 people. I've been over there playing around in all different other places, because I ain't got time to watch no boring bullshit. It's boring as fuck. I ain't watching no person that's boring as hell. I can't do it. If it's good enough, somebody will clip it or somebody else will talk about it, and I'll hear about it. So if anything has been said or talked about me, I don't know what you said, and I don't care. I truly don't give not now fucks. None. I have none. I don't care. Hey, Miss Joy. Well, I'm gonna say this. I had heard Stiffy said that people were not, you know. I don't understand why folks want to jump up on the screen and put somebody else's junk, and why they have it in their phone. Like, why you gonna have somebody else's junk as a picture for yourself? I don't get that. Oh, I don't know, babe. Somebody was doing that to somebody. That's what was said in the chat. I'm reading what the chat's saying right now. So Stevie said, I had over 500 views in about 6 hours and 3 lives. I just unlisted them. Stevie said that she got hit with a P-bomb. With a little teeny tiny of somebody else's, because theirs is smaller. That's sad, Miss Stiffy. That they have nothing better to do in their lives, and they think that's funny. Don't that sound like That sounds like a little kid that would do some shit like that, right? And think that's funny, like a little big kid. Not a 50, 60-year-old person, but a kid. Hell, I'm in my 30s and wouldn't do that shit because I don't find it funny or cute. So what's a person that's like 10 years older than me doing that for? That's like you acting like you in middle school still, like laughing about poo jokes and shit. And laughing about stupid shit like that. Like, I understand laughter is awesome and everything and it's cool, but you're acting like a little bitty child. I'm so sorry that happened to you, Miss Stiffy. Some people ain't got no gumption and they act like 2-year-olds. Oh, you mean he has small, it's smaller than a Tootsie Roll? You mean it's like a Tic Tac or a Mike and Ike? It's smaller than a Tootsie Roll. It's more like a Mike and Ike. Oh, they did it because they you made that episode about them and then blocked all their numbers. That's about right, Stiffy. That's about right. That's something little like. And here's my thing: how do you have time to watch every single person on YouTube? Do you not have a life? Like, I have a life. I have things I gotta do. Like, I can't catch everything all the time. So how do you have a like? How can you watch? You gotta think of the sheer mass number of people, right? Imagine you're watching 50 people in a day's time. When do you have time to live? To live? Like, do you never go touch grass? Do you never go like grocery shopping, doing nothing? You're constantly trying to watch 50, 60, 70, 80 different people. Well, if he had left you alone, I bet you $100 you would have left him alone. Am I correct, Stiffy? You would have never made that episode because you wasn't thinking about it. But when people sit there, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I think they do that for attention and for comment. I think they do that because they have no other content to do. So they mess with people, try to rile people up, get people talking about them because that way they can have content because they have none. Think about it. Without causing controversy with someone, they have nothing else to speak on. Nothing. Nothing to speak about whatsoever. Not a thought process, not nothing. And there's so much more you could do. Like so much more content. We have this Diddy trial going on. We have we have the Karen Reed trial, not just trials. And I'm not just talking about just true crime stuff. You have other things going on in the news. You know what I'm saying? There's so much more that you could do and use your powers or your personality for good. There's so much more that you could do. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much that you could do to, in life. Like I don't get it. I don't get why like you have nothing else better to do in your life. So you left them alone and they doxed you. See, they always say, if you leave me alone, don't talk about me, we'll leave you alone. That's not true. That's not true. That's totally not true. I don't know how many people tried that same instance and they keep doing it. They keep doing it over and over and over again. It's a pattern. it proves that they have no life, Stiffy. Think about it. They have no life whatsoever, and it just proves who they are. Yep. And I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. I don't want no scrub. That lets you know though people ain't got a life though, because think about it like this: if you had a life and you had shit doing, would you have time to be doing all that shit? I wouldn't. Yup. I'm gonna say this. What people don't know when they're doing stuff like that, right? Even if they're using the WhatsApp or different things like that, you can trace that shit. Like, people don't know how that stuff really works. You know what I'm saying? Why you think I ain't calling in? I ain't stupid. You ain't getting my fucking number. I ain't no dumbass. Shoot. I ain't doing that shit. I ain't no dummy. My mama didn't raise no fool. My mama didn't raise no fool, baby. Thank you, Miss Raditha. But my mama didn't raise no fool, baby. My mama raised me to be smart and not. Here's the thing. I don't give a fuck. Say what you want about me. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. The people who truly know me know that you lying on me anyway. So lie away. Lie roast. It ain't funny. It ain't cute. And nobody's laughing and nobody likes it. Hell, my docs didn't have but 4 likes. Shit, I thought I'd get more likes than that. Shoot. That shows you how many people actually watching it. If only 4 people liked it. Just saying. I'm just saying. I'm the same way, Mr. Buster. I ain't answering if I don't know your number. And you could get on the block list real fast. And spam calls don't come in to me. So you could try, but I ain't answering it. And if I do answer, you really don't want me to answer, to tell you the God honest truth. You also don't want me to reverse look up that phone number either. Just saying. You also don't want me to put that phone number on different websites where they'll call you constantly. I'm just saying. I'm going to tell half y'all that they doing that too. What you should do, you should put some of them phone numbers on some of them websites where they call people incessantly. Sign it up for a bunch of different shit. If they want to harass you, you know what I'm saying? Why not put it on some of them websites? I'm just saying. Think about it in retrospect. Right? Sign it up for a bunch of websites where people will call them incessantly. Reverse those tables. See how it feels. I mean, you could go on the dark web and put it in places too. I'm just saying. If you know some people who know some people who know something about it, you know. We gonna call Ghostbusters, Mr. Grumpy. No, I'm just kidding. I was talking about how, you know how people like to call people incessantly 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times in a given moment. Also, I will tell y'all this. If they call your phone number incessantly, you can get them for harassment on that. But I would just sign their number up to all different kind of sites. I would put it on all different kind of things. I swear to God, do it. I swear. Watch, see what happens. I'm gonna put it all over the internet everywhere. Shit. Shouldn't be trying to call folks. Sign it up for all kind of Put it in all kinds of sign up things where it gets done. You could do that all the time. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it. I'm just saying it can be done. Mm-hmm. It's always an unknown. See, they be trying to block their number. That's why they do that, Miss Joy. That's why they do that. They be trying to block that number so you can't use it. But I mean, there is ways to find people's house numbers. There is ways to find certain information. I mean, you think that you can find others, they can find you too. You think you may hide stuff, but you can't hide everything. Hold on just a minute, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. But no, yeah. So when people like to do some evil stuff to you, and also, Mr. Grumpy, I heard him talking about trying to hit you with a fucking copyright. That's bullshit. Because that's your own personal property that you made. You made that. You can't hit somebody with a copyright if they made their material. And for it to be a privacy strike, you have to prove without a shadow of a doubt that they're trying to invade your privacy. So that's some bullshit too. I think that's some weak sauce shit when you have to try to hit somebody's channel with that. I think that's some weak sauce shit. Especially when you ain't making no visible threats. You're not doxing anybody, and stuff like that. Now, if you were doxing or you were, making credible threats or doing something crazy, that'd be different. But when you're just literally making funny short videos, nah, that's a punk move, bitch. Like, you a punk bitch. That's all you are. You can't take words on the internet, but you expect to throw them out, but can't take it back and can't receive what somebody else says. You a punk bitch. I received what the fuck was said about me, even if you dox me and mess. The only thing that I said was too far is fucking with my child. I don't give a fuck if you fuck with me, but don't fuck with my kid. Okay? The kid ain't got shit to do with me and you beefing. We two grown ass adults. Leave the kids out of it. Everybody's child. I don't care who it is. Just like I've stated that when people were making fun of an unalive person in Miss Angel Gotti's family, that was bullshit. Don't do that shit. Like, leave anybody that's underage the fuck alone, and anybody who's passed away and no longer here with us the fuck alone. Yeah, what the fuck did it do too? What the fuck did it do? And they still there. They still there. What the fuck did it do? What really did it accomplish? It accomplished nothing, and it's stupid as hell. Like, that's right. I will say that, Mr. Grumpy. Take Miss Watcher's advice. Uh-huh. Watcher be knowing her shit. I mean, if you want to say you won, take that W. If you can say you did, that don't mean you actually did. Ooh, you won. Ooh. I lost. Ooh. What did I really lose? Nothing. Ooh. Oh my God. The people in my family that love me still love me. My life is still going on. I still wake up every day. I still get up out of bed. I still breathe. I still like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like I still exist. You can't take away my existence. Ooh. The people who still love me and just show up to my chat are still here every single day. Ooh. Ooh. What did I really lose? Not a damn thing. Ooh. Oh, words, they hurt. Oh, these words hurt so bad. Oh, I'm fat. Ooh. Like, oh, this lie's been told. Ooh. Like, seriously, think about it. What have any of you lost? What have any of you, has it really truly 100% like taken away from your real life? You know what I'm saying? Like, really, what did they really accomplish? Not a damn thing. Didn't really accomplish nothing there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You accomplished something. Wow. Ooh, breakfast tacos sound good as hell, Watcher. You know I love my food. Oh yeah, we should totally make Mr. Fumble a crown. But we need to get him a Burger King crown. Y'all know them Burger King crowns? We need to get him one of them. Mm-hmm. He's called our king. Ooh. Oh my god. Ooh. But that would be super cool. He needs to wear a Burger King crown and crown himself the king. That would be hilarious. Mr. Fumble, if you happen to be in the bushes or catch the replay, we gonna need you to get a Burger King crown or like one of them ones from the dollar store and wear it. And now we got to call you King Fumble. And we have to be your royal subjects, you know. I'm God. It's like, here's the thing. Also, can I just say this? Can they get better at reading a bitch for filth? I need you to do it better. It's not funny. Nothing is true. Like if you're gonna read motherfuckers, right? Hurt their feelings a little bit. You ain't hurting nobody's feelings. You ain't really doing it well enough. Because doxing don't really hit. Talking about people's family really don't hit like that. When you read somebody for filth, I read somebody for filth so bad that they still in their fucking feelings. To this day, they still to their motherfucking feelings. And it was a fucking joke. They still in their motherfucking feelings. That's when you know you touched a person's soul. Bitch, ain't nothing you can say on this internet or do it that's gonna touch my soul like that. It's not. Because it's just words on the internet. Words mean nothing. I know who the fuck I am. I know what I do. I know how good of a person I am. I don't have to prove that shit to nobody. My actions speak louder than my words, baby. I don't think so. I think they sold or just it is so corrupted. It's so corrupted, Miss Raditha. Next thing you know, we all gonna be drug addicts. We all gonna be STD ridden. What else lies can we make up, y'all, about ourselves? Because we know that's what it's gonna be. Oh, we live in shacks out in the deep woods in houses that have fallen in because you know they've been abandoned for a couple of years. We live in squalor where like we just got to make up all kind of messed up lies about ourselves. Hey, Miss Heidi. Yeah, I will say, Miss Heidi, that you may some of that. No, it was me, Stiffy. Me and my husband were talking about what I'm gonna cook for supper. I'm gonna make some chicken slash steak fajitas, and we needed just a few items to go with it. So we were talking about that. We were talking about getting some bacon and some stuff, and so I needed some seasonings and some different things to go with it. Had some of it in the pantry, but you know how it goes. Like you plan something, and then you don't have like one item, so you got to go to the store for that one item. So that's what we were talking about. We were talking about that. I will say I am blessed to say that I have a chin and a neck. I am blessed to say that the good Lord decided that even if I have a chubby cheek syndrome, and baby, you can call me fat all day long. I don't care. Do you understand that? I have people in my life that love me for me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to go out and date somebody and then they break up with me and nobody in my life wants to be around me. I'm not like that. People love being around me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got friends that I've had since I was in elementary school. I have friends that I've had since I was in diapers. You know what I'm saying? We may not talk every single day. That is the God honest truth. Because when you grow up, what happens when you grow up and have children and have families? You grow apart. They're doing their thing. You're doing your thing. But I bet you 100 to 1 I could call up one of them and tomorrow we'd still be cool. Because I don't have people in my life that just run around hating me for no reason. Now, that one dude, it isn't that he hates me. He hates somebody else. I've never did a damn thing to that man. Ever. So that's the difference between me and you. You may be able to find one or two people in this lifetime that don't like me for whatever reason. But it's one or two. Not 50, 100, 1,000. One or two. There's a big difference. And here's the thing, I'm very well respected on the internet. When I go into my sector of YouTube, people love me over there. You can't say that about yourself. Nobody on YouTube really likes you. And the only reason you're even involved in some channels at all is because they're using you. Not because they actually like you. That's sad too. Think about it. Think about it like this. I love going over Miss Heidi's and we have great conversation, right? I love going over to Arkansas's and talking when she's live. I love going over to Watchers. We both respect each other, like each other. You know what I'm saying? I can go on to many different panels and I'm very well liked and appreciated. You know what I'm saying? But there's certain people on here that people hate watch them. They hate watch them. They don't really like them. They're not liked at all. And they think that they're famous and all this other stuff. No, you're not. People hate watch you. That doesn't mean you're a cool ass person. People are hate watching you, not that they like you. And the only reason some people don't like me because I told the truth about them. Or I read them for filth or whatever reason that they got. You know what's sad? That's hilarious that I find that the ugliest motherfuckers get so mad at people. Like, a lot of the people that I've met in this community are absolutely gorgeous people. Beautiful inside and out. Inside and out. Right? And other people just be hating like a motherfucker because they're pretty. Because they got, they're beautiful inside and out. Man, I'm going to tell you that one. It makes me go, man, they just be hating because they are so upset. Just be hating. They tried to catch me looking down at a photo to make, some shit. Not me looking straight up across. You know what I'm saying? To try to make me look that way or make me look like, godly, you really think I'm that damn insecure? Motherfucker. Hey, Mr. Malik, how you doing? Is it hot out there, Mr. MRE? Also, very good morning, Mr. MRE. How is my Rocco doing this morning? How's my Rocco doing? Is he okay? You know how much I love Rocco. Boy, I love that dog. He is super beautiful. I mean, he's so well-minded too. He is so well-minded. You know how much and I loved how they was talking about people how they were hating on you about that live about Rocco, but Rocco gets more love and Rocco brings all the girls to the yard. Damn right. He's better than you. Damn right. He's better than you. They were super upset that a live about your puppy dog got more views and likes. They were super upset about that. Well, girl, you just make sure that you safe while you out there, while you busy and everything else. But I still find that as funny as hell, Mr. MRE, that they were super upset that your puppy dog live got more likes, more views, and more love. Hey, D-Ham. Yeah, they've been on your D. They really like it. You better run, Mr. MRE. Ooh, Mr. MRE, they really love you. You better be careful. Some of them people, woo. You got some stalkers. You got some stalkers. They love to stalk you, Mr. MRE. I'm going to say this right now, though. If you ain't got haters and you're a YouTuber of any kind, you ain't doing something right. You got to have a few. Everybody got to have a few. You know what I'm saying? You ain't doing something right if you ain't got a few. But when it's the majority versus the, minority, you got a problem there. Yeah, Mr. MRE, I don't think any of them would ever try to face you face to face. I don't think they would. I think they talk their little shit behind the keyboard. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to being a real man, they wouldn't do that. Because a lot of them are keyboard warriors. Yeah, see, Mr. D-Ham, you're supposed to have a few, like one or two, right? Maybe three, but not the majority of the internet hates you. You know what I'm saying? But you're supposed to have one or two. Everybody's supposed to have one or two, right? Maybe three or four. But to have like more than 80% of the internet hating on you, you know what I'm saying? And for good reason. I'm going to say this, Mr. Emery. A lot of them wouldn't even step foot down here because you don't just step foot on people's shit down here, down south. You don't do that. You might want to not do that down here. Because the South don't play, homie. The South does not play. I'm just saying. My God, today. Yeah, not more than 80%. If you got more than 80% of the internet hating on you, you're a bad person. Especially when they have proof and receipts of why they don't like you. And they have like criminal records of you DV and stalking children, a 2-year-old. Yeah, that's and stealing from schools to where you literally are banned from even stepping on school ground. That's when you know, man, you got some serious motherfucking issues. Yeah, babe, what's up? But I will say Rocco is the sweetest, cutest little puppy. I swear to God. Well, he's not little. He's a big boy. But he's adorable. I love that puppy dog. I love catching those lives with the puppy dogs. Y'all know I love animals in general. Animals are innocent little cherubs who don't do nothing to nobody. They're just so precious. Yeah, he would probably look at Watcher and go, I'm smarter than that, but I'll totally take it and run back. He would probably still, Watcher, he would probably take the pork chop and run back. He'd probably let you pet him, then he'd run right back. Like, thank you. Thank you very much. He's so well-minded, he probably wouldn't even, though. Yeah. Well, see, he's a good boy. He's a good boy, and you've trained him very well, Mr. MRE. You've trained that puppy super well. Mine, they're trained, but they're also, I will say, spoiled a little too much. They're a little bit too spoiled sometimes, and they get their way with everything, and they know it. But they don't like when mommy pulls out the mommy words. They don't like that. Mm-mm. See, that's where you got him trained real good, Mr. MRE. You got him trained so good. Hey, Susie, what you doing? How you doing? How's everything going over that way? No, babe, we do not need 3 new dogs. Somebody else, I think somebody else done dropped off puppies again over here. We have that problem, man, about people dumping animals over here. I don't know what that problem is, but we do have that problem. We ended up with a new dog. Oh, Mr. MRE, have you seen my new puppy? She's not, well, she's going to be a big girl. Thank you, Mr. MRE. Let me show you right quick of my new puppy. She's going to be a big old girl. And let me see if I can find the new photo, because I got so much downloaded for me doing stuff for people's their, let's see. Let me go to all files. Let's see. That's my, let's go to, because I have a bunch of stuff downloaded to make things for people on my Canva, because I make them a lot of things. Oh, I got to show y'all the new photo. So this is what we came home to the other day. That's the new girl. There's Boomer, there's Bailey, and there's Bruiser. This was them in the she's a golden mixed with a I think Alaskan Husky, but that's what we came home to in the window. They were all looking out the window, and let me show y'all the other image file. Let me find it right quick. I got a new picture of her. She let me find it right quick. She's super adorable. I swear. She's gotten big though. She's doing really good with her like gaining weight and stuff, because when she first came up, her little sides was showing. And here's Duchess now. She's doing so much better and getting big. And she's super cute, and she looks like she's a golden with a Alaskan Husky mix. She's going to be a big girl. She's little right now, obviously. Well, she's not that little, but she's not fully grown. She's only a few months old. Somebody dumped her and whatnot, and we just had that same issue with more. People keep dumping their, I don't know why this keeps happening and why people are doing this in my area, but we have a problem with animals being dumped here. Just dumped for no reason. Poor babies. You know what I'm saying? Let me show y'all another one. She was licking her face. It was so cute. Hold on. Let me show y'all the other one. He got some really cute photos of her the other day. Let me see if I can find it. Let's go. Let me open it. Look at her cute little face. Isn't she super adorable? Super adorable. But she's a sweet golden. Yeah, I believe somebody dumped puppies just recently. We have that happen all the time. A lot of our people down our road, we rescue them. My neighbors did it. I've done it. Some people down the street, there's this little boy and his mom who do it all the time. For some reason, they like to dump them in on the street over because it's a lot of hunting land, and not a lot of people live there. I guess they suppose, well, they can live free in the woods. We had a whole litter last year that the neighborhood came together and we, rescued the whole litter. They were in a storm drainage ditch and somebody just dropped them, all of them, and we ended up finding all of them homes. And one of the puppies ended up staying with my neighbor, but we found all of them homes, forever homes or whatnot, without having to take them to the pound or anything like that. And so I think it's real sad when people do that. Poor little innocent babies don't deserve that. They're little cherubs. I think that, yeah, I feel the same way, church lady. But that's basically what happened with Dutch. We tried to find and see if anybody was looking for. Nobody was. We went to all the groups, called the the pound, looked everywhere we could think, posted her in all of the missing animal things. Nobody came forward and claimed her. She had ticks all over her when we first got her. Her little sides were sunk in. She was hungry, so hungry that she was trying to hide food and save it for later. She hid it in her house because we had, my doghouse from my animal that passed away of old age and whatnot. Hold on just a minute. So I've got to go right now. We're going to the three puppies. The mama dog has passed away. I'm going to have to get off this live and go help my husband. We're going to pick up the three puppies and then do it after I make sure they're okay and they're healthy and they're ate and they've got water in them. That free puppy to good home in my area to see if anybody wants them. The mama dog is no longer here with us, and I've got to go help. So I know this is a weird way to end the live, but I got to go help this. I got to rescue these dogs. I can't leave them out there. Their moms passed away, and it's super sad. But I'm gonna do basically the thing, and I'm gonna put up posters after I make sure they're healthy. First, I'm gonna make sure they're healthy and they have all their medicines and things that they need before I do that. And so I'm going to tell y'all I love y'all. I'll see y'all later. I'm going to go try to save these dogs because y'all know how my heart is. Y'all know how my heart is. They mama's passed away and there's three little puppies and they mama's no longer here with us. So I'm going to go help him pick them up, get them here. We're going to see if they're healthy and feed them and give them water. And then I'm going to do a post and, I'm going to go save them babies, y'all. So much love, much love. If you would like to donate to the puppy fund, there's the Cash App. If not, cool. I'm still going to take care of it regardless. But much love, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Huggies. Bye.
from the T-U-P-E-L-O. I'm reppin' my hood, so love I'm gon' show from the T-U-P-E-L-O. I'm reppin' my hood to the day that I go from the T-U-P-E-L-O. I'm reppin' my hood, so love I'm gon' show from the T-U-P-E-L-O. I'm ripping my hood to the day that I go.
I'm from the west side, we don't need no introduction, this was the best ride. We all big boy rolling and holding, come take a test drive. Hilldale, Evergreen, Glenkirk, Outer Street, bending every corner on the west, and that's where I'll be. Sunroof back, Captain C banging down 1800, chunking up the deuce to my post slanging down on 1800. Show no love to the ladies that's training round on 1800, making time stand still, crystalline swinging down 1800. Watching out for them knuckleheads that be stanging round on 1800. Big rims and low pros be blanging round on 1800. Better completely change the way you're thinking about round 1800. Really hate to see you boys get left slanking around 1800. Outer Street got some history, just let Captain C lay it out. If I don't finish it all on this one, let the second verse play it out. Remember the blue apartments when OG standing back there by 60 deep. Bull walking, tall blue, a big Anthony Hughes and P.
I'm from the T-U-P-E-L-O. I'm reppin' my